So our scripture passage today is from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 32. I think I have in the bulletin 32 through 36, but we're going to go all the way through 38. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. If you lend to those whom you hope to receive, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners to receive as much again. But love your enemies. Do good and lend, expecting nothing in return. Your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High. For he is kind to the ungrateful, and the wicked. Be merciful just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and you will be given to, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, run over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you get back. The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. So we have in my house some change. Over our summer break when we were on vacation, Will, where are you? Will, where are you? Where'd he go? Okay. Well, I'm telling your story, my friend. So when we were on vacation, Will sat John and I down. He said, I want you to sit down. I want you to sit down. I got something I need to talk to you about. And so we were like, okay. I guess he picked vacation because he finally could get our attention, you know. We're always so busy running. So he sat us down. He said, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I need to tell you about this. I need to tell you what's going on. And we're like, okay, well, spill it. Well, I'm not sure that you're going to want to hear this. I'm not sure you're going to want to hear this. So I'm kind of hesitant to even bring it up. And so I'm like, okay, would you get? Well, you know, I'm really afraid to bring it up because I don't want you to respond too soon. So just listen to what I've got to say, and then, you know, just take some time with it, and don't say anything yet. Would you please get on with it? No, I'm serious now. This is really, really important to me. Okay, tell us what's going on. I really want a dog. Like, okay, we'll get a dog. He had set us up so much that, of course, we were so ready for that. And so a response to that request was very, very simple. Very, very simple for us to say, yes, let's get a dog. So we came home from vacation, went to the Humane Society, saw a lot of different dogs, went to a new event, one of their big events where they have the small dog giveaway, and we had picked out one that it was named Cliff because of Clifford the big red dog. This is a red, but it's not a big dog, it was a small dog. It's a red little dog, about this long, you know, really short. And he had long red hair. Now, I don't know if you have noticed about Will, but for some reason he was making this instant connection with this dog, and so he was determined to have that dog. So we got to the small dog event 2 hours early before they even started. No one was there in the parking lot. We were the only ones in the parking lot to get this dog because he was insistent on this one dog. And we did get him without any difficulty, and he's just delightful. He's 2 years old, past the puppy stage, and really a part of our family, potty trained. He's just amazing. So every single day, one of us will say how much we are so proud that he's joined our family. And just yesterday, I was looking over on the couch, and Will was sitting on the couch doing something, and the dog was turned upside down on his back, with his belly exposed, totally asleep in Will's lap, just as happy as a lark. And we are just so pleased to have a dog in our family, more love than ever, much happier than we ever could have imagined. Really, really pleased. So this month, the valuable year, looking for deeper meaning. This month, we have talked about mercy all month long. And we've talked about the operating definition that I've worked with this month is that mercy is doing good when you don't have to. Doing good when you don't have to. And typically, we think of God's mercy as a courtroom scene where something has been done wrong, and God is the judge forgiving that sin or that action, and so God grants mercy instead of punishment. And then we talked about mercy as it's also pictured in the Bible as healing. That the person that was injured called out to Jesus, "Jesus, have mercy on me." And Jesus came and healed the person. So mercy we don't have to be bound by a courtroom scene. Mercy is also one of healing. So it's much, much more than just granting forgiveness for our sin. It is much more doing things that are healing, brings people together. So acts of mercy is my focus today. So we talked a lot about God in these last weeks and what God's character of mercy. So today I'd like to really focus on our acts of mercy. Our acts of mercy. So how can we be merciful? How can we be merciful? And when you think about this simple definition, doing good when you don't have to, mercy is not just a characteristic that God has. It can be something that we can have. Doing good when we don't have to. So I had a birthday back in May, and I don't know, I just woke up on my birthday, and it wasn't about the gifts. It wasn't about, I wasn't feeling bad because I'm another year old. I just wanted to do something different. So I went to the store, and I bought as many single roses as I could find. And I just wanted it to be a day of giving instead of receiving. Something different. So I gave out roses to people, and and a lot of times I just left them on their doorstep because I was still working that day. And so the day looked like this. When I had a moment and I was on my way to somewhere, if I knew that someone lived somewhere that was on my way, I took one of the roses and I left it or found them, and I had a card that said, "It's my birthday. I want to give a rose to you because you are a rose in people's lives," as a way of saying thank you. By the end of the day, I felt so amazing at the many people in my life that I had to appreciate. Now, if you did not receive a rose, it's simply because you live far away, or you might not have been able to be interrupted in your day. So I gave out a lot of roses, but mostly to women. If you're a man, I'm sorry, I felt like that was a little awkward. So I know that's not fair. I know I had a barrier there, but anyway, by the end of the day, I had given out so many roses, and I felt so tremendous at the appreciation of roses in my life, people that I had to be grateful for in my life. Pressed down, overflowing, tremendously full of gratitude. It was the best birthday I can ever remember. It's just tremendous. So this passage today is full of a lot of things. So I'm going to take a minute to walk through some of it. If you love those who love you, how simple is that? It's easy. It's not something you have to get up for. We are Christians. We are followers of Jesus Christ. We come every week to be reminded of our task. Our task is not routine. It's so routine to love that which is already loving you. Or do good to those who are already doing good. Or lend, knowing you're going to get the money back. That is routine. Please be reminded that we are here to learn how to be Christians, walking a different way. And this passage from Jesus shows us how. Don't do the ordinary, do the extraordinary. So love those who don't love you. Love your enemy. Do good, not just to those who do good to you, but to those who do not do good to you. Do good. I gave out roses to people who do good to me. A Christian would have given roses to people who don't do good to me. Oh my gosh, I could have gone to bed that night even better. Lend, expecting nothing in return. To me, that's one of the best phrases in this whole thing is, but love your enemy, do good, and lend, expecting nothing in return. This is the way of Christian, is to do these things, acts of mercy, good that we don't have to do. That's the definition of mercy. Expecting nothing in return. Profoundly different than the rest of the world. When are we going to stand up and be followers of Christ? And do that which Jesus describes in great detail for us to do. And then he goes on, so how do you love? You don't judge, you don't condemn, but you forgive. Then there's this really cool phrase. There's my second favorite passage in here. Even though he says, do it without expecting return, he then follows it up and says, give, and it will be given to you. And this must have been a marketplace phrase, because it rolls off the tongue like a saying. A good measure, pressed down and shaken together, running over, it will be put into your lap. A good measure, I don't know if you're a cook, but my mom always taught me to use my measuring cups. And she usually takes a knife and scrapes off the top, so it's exactly right amount. But then there are those recipes when she says, well, it's a heaping cupful. I'm like, how do you measure a heaping cupful? Oh, it's a heaping cupful, it's a heaping cupful. Like that's an amount, right? It's a heaping cupful. So I get that feeling from this passage. A good measure, pressed down, like brown sugar, the way you have to press it down in a measuring cup. So in my study of this passage, they think that this was a marketplace phrase that they would take wheat, when you buy your wheat, they'd press it down and shake it up so that it all fell into place, and press it down some more. And then you'd have your cloak or whatever you were wearing, your jacket. And did you ever do that as a kid with your dress? You just fold up your dress and it'd be poured into your dress, whatever you were playing with. Well, you do that with your cloak, is that they would pour the wheat into your cloak. And so press down into your lap, into your clothing, you have this bounty of goodness. Now we do this, we act in merciful ways as Christ has taught us, not because of this bounty that we're going to get, but it's just a natural response to the Christian life. I say that because all too often this passage alone is preached. This passage alone is preached that says, give and it will be given to you, da-da-da-da-da. And it's preached all alone. They totally missed the part about loving your enemy. They totally miss about how hard it is and how different it is than normal living. So that's not what that's not what I'm doing when I talk about this passage. It's not a reap what you sow. It's above and beyond, because we're following the Christian way, Jesus' model. So this whole year, we've been talking about values. The world is a scary place right now. And I've just been hanging on to values as, there's good in the world. If we just hang on to it and fight, and breathe into that flame and let it grow. Wouldn't it be great, like the whole valley is filled with smoke? What if that was a good thing? What if we were feeding our fire and the whole valley felt the smoke of what we're doing here at First United Methodist Church? So we're feeding these fires of value, of important good character. So mercy is most often attributed to God. God's mercy. It's an uncommon word in our language. And when it is used, it's typically about God. But I want us to claim it as ours. As followers of Jesus Christ, we can say that we are merciful because we do acts of mercy. We do good when we don't have to. We do good to our enemy, to people who are not normally kind to us. We do good when we simply don't have to and it's not expected of us. So the question is, why do we do this? We do this so that we can become more like Jesus. The passage says, "Be merciful just as your Father is merciful." The Christian walk can be transformative. We do not have to remain a small person. We can be bigger than we are already by walking a Christian life. I know that this is a challenging message today. Can we do it? Can we be merciful? I ask you, are you like me? Are you tired of a gospel that's small? This is the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's that when we are merciful, it will be overflowing more than we can imagine. On the wall of the on the wall where Mother Teresa worked in Calcutta, there was this poem, and I think it's a true example of mercy, because it's not just do good to those who do good to you. It's not all roses. I mean, to follow Christ is not just easy. It's a high calling. And on the wall there was this poem, and I'd like to read it to you. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you're successful, you'll win some false friends and some true friends. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. So here's my request of you. Here's my calling to you. Here's the invocation to you that Jesus could say to you today. Be merciful anyway.